Hello, Masters. Welcome. Happy Ugadi in advance. And I wish you everyone. Thank you, all of the Masters who has taken their time to come to this session and who are ready to share their experience with us. So, this was a thought that came to me a day ago that okay, we are all starting a new year, the Ugadi. So how do we take this forward? um, Anytime after the winter, like everything is dormant, right? Like all trees are dormant, they go die, and then they do their own inner work kind of a thing, and then first festival we get is like Sankranti, where sun starts, and then the immediately the festival we get is this Ugadi. So the Ugadi, like in back in India, if you see, all trees are like bloom, and here we have cherry blossoms. Wherever you see, our hearts will open. So I see that what is the signifies, right? A significance is the cycle. So, and how do we see ourselves as a better version? Like anything is like a cycle. I really very much excited to hear from all of the masters on and every cycle we cannot pass through with our day-to-day lives, and what kind of situations we go through and what kind of emotions we process through. So every emotion is important. So we thought like, okay, our uh, ancestors has given this great recipe of Ugadi Pachadi, which is a very known recipe in Andhra. So where it comes with the different flavors. All we have taught in our childhood is like, okay, eat, it's good. Why I should eat a bitter thing? They say it's good. I don't know why, how bitter is good. It is all taken inside without understanding the importance of the bitterness. So let's learn this. Thank you so much. So we have our special guest, Sheetal Pawar, who will, give few words about Gadi and then take us into the meditation. Or like we can just jump into the meditation. Sheetal, how much time you want to, do this meditation?
20 minutes is good?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, friends. Happy New Year. Happy Ugadi. Happy Gudi Padwa. In North Indian, they celebrate this event. Everywhere we celebrate. And happy spring. So, as Pushpa said, life begins again. So, I really wanted to share one thing which really resonated with me and stayed in my heart. And ever since, I'm seeing the day a pretty much new day for me. So I met a shaman master in Sedona, and in the ceremony, he said something very powerful. He said, every night we die. Every night we die. Every morning we take birth again. So if you have not accomplished anything, if you are going through some trouble, if you are having difficulties, or if you are having happy times, or whatever it is, right? So again, early in the morning, you are getting up again, and it is a new life. So in new life, you have new power. With that new power comes with a lot of responsibilities, right? So you choose. You always have a choice, and you choose your things. And in your journey that day, all our speakers are going to speak that 6 days, that which is very important. And if you see everything together, they're all tasty. They are not. They are not. We cannot discriminate the taste. When you combine everything, it is very beautiful. So that was really powerful statement for me. Every night we die, and every morning we take new birth again. So every morning you have a beautiful opportunity to bloom again, just like that cherry blossom, right? So we are all part of the nature, and we are nature. So with this, happy Ugadi once again, and happy Ugadi to all my fellow meditators and co-hosts and co-speakers here. And I Warmly welcome all of you, and I'm looking forward to listen to your wisdom. And before this, we are going to start with meditation. Our life begins with meditation. So let us all sit in meditation, my dear friends. It is going to be very quick, very powerful, very soothing, very new meditation. Every meditation, we are starting from ground zero. Remember that. Relax yourself. Take one or two deep breaths to relax yourself. Leave all your thoughts outside of the room. You can address them later after this session. Relax your entire body from head to toe. Put your cells into sleep. Let's do that. Scan from head to toe, just like how we relax in Savasana. Completely relax your head, face, neck, throat, shoulders, hands, chest, stomach, your upper back, lower back, spine, legs, hips, thighs, knees, lower legs, feet, and toes. Relax. We are going to observe our breath. Meditation is very, very simple, very magical, just like you are. Observe your normal, natural breath. I will be playing beautiful music. In this 20 minutes, we are going to observe our breath. Be with your breath. Be with your breath. Normal, natural, easy breath. Be with your breath. As you observe your breath, empty only your thoughts. Observe the emptiness inside you, the energies inside you and all around you. Be with it. Be with your breath. Go deeper and deeper into yourself. Be with your breath. Last 5 minutes, be with your breath. Go deeper and deeper into yourself. Last 1 minute. Continue with your breath. Last 5 seconds. Okay, friends, whenever you are ready, gently place your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You can slowly remove your hands and open your eyes. Thank you so much, my dear friends. Hope you all had wonderful meditation. In life, every day, every moment, we seek for solutions. And the solution word has the soul. So when we connect to our soul, solution comes naturally. So always depend on yourself, on your soul. Happy spring, happy Ugadi, my dear friends. Back to you, Pushpa.
Thank you so much, Sheetal. It was really so soothing, so nice. It was really soul connecting. Thank you. Thank you for doing this. Friends, thank you so much for joining. So we have Praveen, who talks about the moha, the attachment. So when we see this, all of these shadruchis, right? The shadruchis falls in one of the Arishad Varga. So we are actually combining like how the Arishad Vargas, a few parts, like it's not all because we also have sweet here. Kama, Krodha, Moha, Mada, Lobha, Matsalya. So let's learn about the first thing. It's called one of the blocker we have, like whoever is seeking the spiritual growth, it's puts pulls back. So Praveen is a wonderful master who is in spirituality for more than 6 years. I know him personally for 6 years. Such a great master, such a S master, and such a perfectionist master who is actively contributing for the spiritual tablets, and he also is in blissful um, arts. Right now, he's very active member of Atlanta Pyramid, who is like doing kind of a Bhagirath, who is bringing us. Praveen, over to you.
Many adjectives, Pushpa, I do not know, but I'm just happy to take because being a Ugadi, I'm happy to take everything, bitterness or even the sweet. So that's how we should start with this today's occasion. Yeah. So before getting into that, right? I think you touched upon the Ugadi beautifully. I also want to give one more perspective. So I think on the sun transition event, right, where sun was going on to the Uttarayana stage, we celebrated the festival. We did a meditation. So basically, it is a hibernation period, right? We don't go outside; we go inward. So all of this period, like about a 5 to 6 months period, we go inward. Now we realize whatever, right? Whatever is the awareness, awakening that needs to happen, that will happen. And now that with our awareness and with the wisdom, we start opening up. That's how the Ugadi flowers, the leaves starts coming in. I mean, symbolically, we are nature missions, right? So how do we represent, how do we communicate what happens inside to our next and subsequent generations? So we just have to use the nature's symbolic means. That's how, I mean, the way I see this Ugadi. So it's like you start your inner journey, you kind of finish your journey, and that's all of the beautiful flowers coming in. Now you enjoy the festivities. And of course, coincidentally, it is a harvest festival. We do definitely take all of the new things that is coming up in our life, and that we make it a pachadi, or we basically a fest. It's basically a celebration, right? So now when it comes to the moha, I mean, I, of course, when you asked me, I wanted to touch upon moha uh, for many reasons. If you look at it, moha is again, it's one of the six passions, right? So moha is an excess greed, and the greed comes from a desire. So is desire bad? No, not necessarily. Desire is actually a good thing. But how you are using that desire towards the life, that is a matter, right? So if you are using the desire towards the maybe spiritual fulfillment, yeah, it's great. But if you have only coming towards, I mean, of course, when you took a life, I mean, on an earth plane, you needed to experience it. But if you kind of get stuck with all of these earthly beings, then automatically I mean, it's the desire will not be a nishkama karma type, right? It will go on to the materialistic, and if it goes excess, it will go on to the attachment. Because once you start owning it, right? So first, of course, you want it, then you got it, then after that, you feel like you want to protect it, and you own it, and that's how the attachment comes, right? So all of us know that attachment would be pretty much. I mean, there are many attachments, but I can say some of the simplistic ways is. attachment towards our family, the immediate family, towards the spouse, biological, kids and the spouse, attachment towards the money, right? Attachment towards the maybe the excess materialism. And that's what moha is actually talking about. So how do you actually come out of the moha? Is being the moment you feel happy, the moment you are content about the things that you're getting it, then it doesn't really overflow, right? So when you're happy, when you're contented, then it will not go into an excess. You're basically stopping. You're stopping the tap, and that's how you're actually putting a check to the moha. In fact, there are a couple of Vemana slokas, but I cannot remember that. So I think pretty much most of the sages says that it's like anyone who has an excess moha towards the alu viddalu, basically spouse and family, or towards money, will never get into the salvation. That's essence of a sloka. But I don't remember that Vemana's sloka, but the essence is that. So I just want to make it sweet and short. Uh, and in fact, in my life also, when I got a shock in the, the personally, so I just looked at it and tried to see that, okay, fine, of course I got a shock. And then to come out of it, the best way is to shift towards a spiritual focus. And the moment you focus towards a spiritual cause, whether it is whatever is a shock that have happened in either towards the health or could be financial or could be emotional, that will be channeled towards the spiritual cause, then automatically that gets tapered down, and you can actually be you could basically kind of a settles down on that particular dimension. So in my one simple way is excess moha is definitely not good for a spiritual work or spiritual upliftment. The best way would be focus that energy, that direction energy towards working towards the spiritual causes. So with that, I'll hand it over to you. I may have spoken a little too much, but yeah, now it's up to you.
Wonderfully put together, like a big essence in a small capsule, Praveen. So anything excess which we are doing not for good, it's like, yeah, we put us back. Thank you so much, Praveen. Thanks so much. So next, Lakshmi. So next master we have is Lakshmi Devi. So to give a brief about Lakshmi, Lakshmi is also a fellow traveler for me from 2019 or 2020 when we started with Inner Journey together. So Lakshmi has been a wonderful master who is contributing her services in a various areas in the kids department, in the kids area, in the women empowerment kind of. She has cherry ladies, she has kids meditation, she also recently had 24 hours meditation, she's a spiritual counselor, whatnot about Lakshmi. Thank you so much, Lakshmi, for accepting my invite and coming here. Yeah, let's go ahead and take us today your topic.
Thank you, Pushpa, for giving me this opportunity. Wonderful. We are meeting for this occasion, Ugadi. And when Pushpa came up with this wonderful idea of giving the essence of Ugadi and different emotions, and when I was thinking, when we say about Ugadi Pachadi, what we remember? That's our mango and the neem flowers, all those things. But then there is one key ingredient we miss to identify. Can anyone guess? One key ingredient. It is there. We introduce it. We add it every time in Ugadi Pachadi. Water. We add water. It is the neutralizer. It stays neutral. It stays in its balance. It stays with its power, and yet it adopts the qualities of others. And when in balance, it will show how to be a pacifier. That quality of water we are going to discuss now. When not only in our life, even if you see as a team, there will be always a pacifier, a neutral person who stays calm that doesn't mean that person doesn't have any opinion. They choose to keep quiet, transcend from the whatever the arguments or conversation is happening, without taking any judgments or taking sides. They stay neutral, and they tend to give their opinion at the right time. They almost seem like it is almost seamlessly, they do all the work. But when you turn back and see the great efforts, they have many times kept quiet and right moment revealed their opinion so that the team harmony is maintained. We also need it in our life, the state of neutrality, the balance, that harmony, the sense where we can keep quiet, and at times we can reorganize our thinking and project what is needed at what right time. And water, being like a water, being like a neutralizer, we also can be that binder. If you see in the Ugadi Pachadi, if you put all those items which were listed, we can't eat. There is something which will bind it. So effortlessly it will flow with that. We can also imbibe that quality of a binder, keeping a family together, keeping our neighborhood together, keeping the group together. Just observe and smile when it is needed, talk when it is needed. When things are going out of control, give a right moment, right choice, right opinion, and effortlessly we can flow. And the best quality of being a neutral person or being that water like person is adaptability. They can adapt to all, like if we can practice that being neutral, we adapt. We adapt according to the situations, we adapt to people, we adapt to the environment. That quality is one thing we can focus on, being that neutral water-like person. And one more quality, if we say, we can get, if we become that water, we get the essence of other people, which is wonderful to do. Allowing other people to be their own essence is a greatest skill if we can have, if we can practice, even in our family, in the group, in society, allowing to bring others' essence as much as possible, and having that quality of water is one imperative skill we all need to imbibe in us. Thank you, Pushpa. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about this neutral, wonderful, imperative thing.
Wow, Lakshmi, you just hit on the point. So, one great point about water is like adaptability. Like wherever you go, just be like that, and being in that nirgunam, like not picking up the things which surrounding you. I mean, you pick up, but still you maintain that, and you're becoming a binder. Wonderfully stated. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
So next is Anjali. Anjali Konda. So Anjali Konda is what should I say about Anjali? Anjali is a fellow meditator, like who has been meditating, a great mother, who has introduced this great concept of meditation to the two wonderful masters, Ajay and Nandini. And I'm so proud whenever I see those kids. Like I feel like my heart is flowing with love. Anjali is very active contributor to Atlanta Pyramid Meditation Academy, who has been there for so many events, running and doing the boards. Thank you so much, Anjali. And your session, I really became a fan of your session when I saw that Ascend Science of Meditation. Thank you again. Yeah, take us through your topic.
Yeah. Good evening, my dear friends. It's been wonderful. Like we gathered here for Ugadi celebrations. As Sheetal mentioned, like We die every night in our sleep and again wake up as a new person. Ugadi means new beginnings and adding newness in our lives, right? So today I'm going to explain a little bit about anger. Friends, our lives are full of all these beautiful emotions, right? It's a combination of all the taste that we add in our Ugadi special dish. So consider like if we are in the same state all the time, we'll be bored definitely. Like we do the same thing, we eat same kind of food. We feel bored. We need all these special effects in our lives. So then only the beauty comes out, like how effectively we are able to manage and balance in each and every situation that unfolds in front of us, right? Um, so we can say that anger is a natural human emotion. Like we all feel angry, but we don't. But if we don't know how to deal with that anger, it can be destructive. So if we let that anger control our lives, we'll get into the problems, right? So anger is also a right emotion. Like when we use it correctly, my dear friends, it has both the sides. We can see like different situations. It can be destructive sometimes, like it is capable of clouding our judgment. We cannot see the things clearly if we act on anger. If we act with anger, like it disrupts our relationships, stealing our inner peace. So first we need to understand the root cause of that anger. We need to calm down and step back and think and act on that. Mostly we see that anger arises from our ignorance only. If we check ourselves clearly, we can say that from our ignorance only it arises. Friends, it is not an inherent quality, but it is a reaction to if we unmet our expectations, fear and threat during these situations, that particular emotion comes out. We experience that one. Buddha always says that that anger is an burning coal. It primarily burns the one who is holding it. It doesn't. It affects the others next. First, it affects primarily the one which is holding it, my dear friends. We need to remember this one. So first, we see different situations in our lives, like where anger arises. First, with the expectations, right? When the things doesn't align with our desires, or when reality is different from our expectations, this frustration and anger arises. Next comes ego and identity. Most of us experience with this kind of this is most dangerous problem. Mostly like we do a lot of work, we didn't get recognized, identity crisis, we know that all at one, and the egos like some kind of simple situations. If ego comes up, that becomes a destructive thing. Like even for simple things, when we deal with the kids also, sometimes we don't accept if they take some decisions independently by themselves, maybe thinking that okay, my parents will agree that. But sometimes we go angry on themselves, like you need to discuss with me before taking any kind of action decision. How can you do that? Like that, it's like we got habituated, like like we are the adults, we know a lot of the things, we are experienced, blah blah blah, that comes up, and we act with ego. Even for some simple situations, we need to break that one also, ego and identity. Mm, and sometimes, like we can say, past conditioning. Our response is mostly influenced by our past experiences also. We need to break this habitual anger also. Like these situations, what I understand, like what I experienced, I am telling you guys, like expectations, ego, identity, and this habitual anger. mm, These are the situations mostly we get into the anger. So mm, these are the simple things, but how can we overcome this one? Overcome this one. I think we are already actually practicing a lot of the things, but we need to more aware of what we are doing. Mm, We are already practicing the mindfulness in the PSSM community, right? Being present and being aware what we are doing. We can observe ourselves with more awareness, like how we are getting this anger, in which situations, what are the thought patterns. We need to just simply observe without getting consumed by that anger. This mindfulness, like, it gives some space or some gap between that stimulus and that response time. So here we get a chance to choose wisely. We can give a constructive response only instead of going the destructive way. This mindfulness gives us that wonderful chance, my dear friends. Keep that thing in the mind. Next comes meditation. Mm, We all know that practicing meditation, brings the inner peace. We can explore our nature of emotions, in which situations, how we are reacting, what kind of emotions are arising from us, so that we can handle our anger with more clarity, my dear friends. Next practice is loving and kindness. Uh, First, we need to have self love towards ourselves, cultivating the goodwill and compassion towards ourselves first. Then only we can direct that kindness towards the ones who are provoking us, and who are making angry. And we can dissolve that anger with by replacing better understanding. First, we need to cultivate love and kindness for ourselves, my dear friends. The next one is like our I can say, like, our actions create our future experiences. We all know that one. um, uh, when we harbor this anger, it creates the negative karma. So by keeping this in mind, we need to motivate ourselves first, like, respond with patience and compassion, because our choices shape our destiny, right? Here, it's like we need to remember one point, my dear friends. Will not be punished for our anger. Like, you will be punished by your anger, my dear friends. You will not be punished for your anger. You'll be punished by your anger. What we choose, like, what we get. Patriji always says, like, we know that samayame sadhana sahaname pragati, right? Time is practice, patience is progress. He always emphasizes that one. Patience is progress. If you react quickly for any kind of situation, you miss that wonderful creation. You can put that energy into the wonderful creation, my dear friends. He also, goes anger on people. We heard from a lot of experiences. He also goes many a times angry on people. But the great masters, if you observe the great masters, they don't get really anger, but just they act that anger on us, on our ignorance only. They don't carry that feeling. Just for that moment they go angry. That's it only. But as a human tendency, we carry that emotion for a certain period of time. Sometimes it settles deep rooted in ourselves. We don't aware of that also. It happens. So we need to be careful, like, being mindfulness and practicing meditation, and checking the actions. Are we doing right actions? By cultivating the love and kindness, to some extent we can reduce, like, going into that state. And one more thing already mentioned, like, non-attachment. like we cling to our desires mostly sometimes, we need to understand that impermanent nature of all the things, all the situations, people. It's not permanent, right? People change, situations change. Mm, uh, Based on the situation, everybody act. The next year, maybe they will be different. So, uh, if you understand this point, then we reduce our tendency, to react with anger, my dear friends. That impermanent nature of the things, situations is a beautiful point. We need to consider that one also. These are like, slowly we need to, put into action in our lives. Sometimes we need some instant steps also to get rid of the anger. We know that one step, like, we take deep breath, long deep breaths, like to calm our mind and body, to ground yourself. We all know that one, right? And the next thing is practice. We need to practice gratitude. We know that gratitude is the best attitude, my dear friends. Then we need to focus on positive aspects of our life and in the relationships. Try to understand the perspective of the other person also. Sometimes, we think we we expect the others to act on our way, like according to our expectation, right? Maybe other persons are not, they haven't learned that thing in their lifetime. Maybe sometimes they wouldn't have that exposure. Mm, we need to think in that point of view also, others point of view also. Sometimes we feel like that is a simple thing. Can't they know? We feel like that. Maybe no, there are so many people, they don't know even simple things, my dear friends. I have come across in my lifetime. I felt like so many times they don't know this much simple thing, but maybe they might have learned that lesson. And we need to commit for daily meditations to manage our emotions effectively, my dear friends. These are the simple points. I got a chance to tell you guys. As a conclusion, we can say this is also, anger is also a beautiful emotion. We can transform this anger into an opportunity to grow, and into a compassion and kindness towards others. It's okay to feel angry sometimes in our mind, but it is not okay to let that happen through our bodily actions or words, my dear friends. It gives a large impact, right? So by practicing mindfulness, meditation, and cultivating love, kindness, that makes us an, like, strong, unshakable person towards these circumstances, like unexpected or external circumstances, my dear friends. So let go of anger. Always believe in patience and kindness. That only solves the problem, my dear friends. Remember that we will not get punished for our anger. We'll be punished by our anger, my dear friends. Keep that in mind. Be patient and kind towards others and towards yourself also. Thank you.
Thank you. What should I say, Anjali? Such a beautifully you put together. So I typically people think anger is like bad, or like people feel guilty about feeling angry or yelling at, or like not showing up their anger. But you put it so beautifully that I cannot put it in my words. And the mindfulness you said, like the practicing between anger, and then you have that gap where you stop yourself and start to think, okay, why I'm getting angry? Is it really required? Is it really helpful? Beautiful, beautiful, Anjali Konda. Thank you so much for coming and giving such a beautiful wisdom.
Thank
Okay.
you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Um, Next is our other beautiful master, Divya Makam. Welcome, Divya Makam, to our session. Thank you for accepting this invite. So Divya is going to talk about the fear and then the sadness. So a little few words about Divya. Divya is been a meditating for more than 10 years, or who has been very closely with all India PSSM great masters. And I have seen Divya a very beautiful a soul. I can just say that I come across who actively contributes to various channels, Patriji Meditation channel, and who is taking care of all social media of Atlanta Pyramid Meditation Academy. Who, these are few words, and Divya does events, take up the responsibilities. She's also a very active coordinator and collaborator across the different channels and different platforms, I can say, connecting people. Thank you so much, Divya. Um, all yours. Take us to the topic today.
Wonderful introduction. Thank you, Pushpa. Yes. So, friends, what differentiates between a human and a robot? It's emotions, right? So, emotion, when you start analyzing what emotion is energy in motion. Every emotion has charge. It has a positive charge, it has a negative charge, both, right? So, we are, yes, the soul consciousness. We are not just the body, but yes, we are still in the body. We have to respect every emotion, and emotions are very natural because we are still in the body. So we cannot avoid emotion. By bypassing emotion, it only brings messier consequences. So we only have to learn the art of dealing those emotions. Emotions actually can transcend, friends. So yes, we have to respect it. So with this, today's emotion I have picked up is fear. So fear has many forms. It's just not one. So each emotion brings up different personalities within us, right? So even this fear has many faces and many personalities which brings to us. So is fear a good emotion or a bad emotion? Let's see by the end of this session. So coming to the first personality, fear of feeling inadequate, right? So this is called self-deprecation. What happens when all our emotions usually get formed during our childhood, friends. So when the child is not given a proper unconditional love or a beautiful physical touch, he or she starts forming this fear. So the positive, the negative pole, the negative charge of this fear is we start doubting our self-worth, we start putting ourselves down. But if this fear, if you see in a positive pole, it brings us humility in us. We start identifying the uniqueness of every person around us. A lotus is a lotus, a jasmine is a jasmine, a rose is a rose. So every emotion you can actually transcend it to a negative pole to a positive pole, right? So when we go to the next one is fear of being judged. So when we have this, we start becoming people pleasers. We are very shy, we have very low self-esteem, and even the body languages change. We bend in the public, and we were not able to give eye contact directly to anyone. So these are the traits we usually get. So this kind of personality is inferiority complex. So we cover it up, all these emotions under a carpet, and we think the whole house is clean, and we mask it off as a superiority complex. So this is a very difficult emotion to diagnose, my friends, because we just mask it off with a superiority complex, but inside we are actually feeling the inferiority. So here also this forms because the child is given conditional love. during its earlier days, right? So there's one thing. And going to the next kind of fear of feeling life is not worth living, or it's not worth having, right? So when we have this kind of fear, we get into self-destruction, right? We try to destroy ourselves physically, emotionally. We get addicted to alcohol, drugs, and even try to commit suicide because of this fear trait. But if we are able to transcend this fear into positive charge, we we can convert this emotion for a better cause, for a better service. If you're feeling my life is worthless, so what? Anyway, someday we all have to die. So what's the point? So that positive charge can be taken as you go and serve for a cause. I'll work for a Shakahat Jagat rest of my life. So this is how you can transcend your emotion, right? So the next kind of fear is fear of not having enough. So this is actually also called as famously called as greed. It is never sufficient for us, whatever we have. So if we have little, we need some more, we need some more, right? So greed uh, no exhibits or gives scarcity, gives a feeling of scarcity, but the opposite is abundance, right? So during childhood, if the parent is not giving proper time to the child and replacing the time with the toys, or it's creating some vacuum for the child, right? So the child starts to develop, it wants something more. So as we grow as adult, we start irritating our partners. Give me time. If you love me, give me more love, more love, more love. We are never satisfied. So this is what greed does to us, friends. So the positive polarity is abundance, and the negative polarity is what is it? Greed, not being fulfilled, being unsatisfied. So next, going to the other phase of fear, it is fear of being victim. It's called martyrdom. So we always, when we are having this personality, we try to create pain unnecessarily and start blaming others. So, for example, let's imagine there is a lady and she's very upset that something did not happen. Her spouse did not give her something. So she says, "For 3 days, I'm not going to talk to you. I'll not eat food." So when she does that, she's creating non-verbal suffering there for herself and for the family. So with this, I want to also connect to a story. There is a king, and on his birthday, he wants to grant wishes to all the prisoners. Just one wish he wants to fulfill. So everybody will ask for food, nice clothes, wealth, or they want to meet their family members, something like that. But nobody asks for freedom. He could have asked for freedom. So sometimes these emotions, even though they're not serving the purpose, we are so comfortable with it. We are okay to continue with that pain. That's what this story really brings us. Secondary gains, it's called. So the positive of it is you can convert it to selflessness. But if you see the negative charge of it, we feel that we are trapped. We feel powerless. We feel like nothing is in our control. The circumstances are not under our control. So this is one kind of fear. The next kind of fear is fear of not having enough time. So when does this personality develop? During a childhood, when our parents rushes, hurry us, saying, "Ah, you are getting late for the school. You have to eat fast. You have to study quickly. We have to go next to a shopping." When we are pushing and rushing, we start developing as a child, we start developing the feel that there is not enough time for us in life. And even if enough time is given in the future, it's not sufficient. So a lazy person will never have time for anything. But when you convert it to a positive trait, a wise person will definitely make time for everything. Whatever the situation is, he makes time for everything. So he understands that a wise person understands that a time can be contracted, it can be expanded depending on the focus and the quality. It determines time with his focus, right? So this is another kind of trait. Then next personality is fear of change, stubbornness. So if we have the fear of changing job, we have the fear of leaving our comfortable place. For me, I feel very resistant to walk out of my house. I feel very comfortable. I have to push myself to come out of the house most of the time. So when this trait is there, right? mm, um, we are rigid and inflexible. So when does this personality forms as a child? So when our parents take decision without taking the consent of the children, like if a parent is moving from one place to another, he because of his job, we don't ask the children, is it okay? Right? So the children start making friends, and again they have to change their friends each place. They feel so insecure, and we don't allow them to choose. You have to wear red shirt only, not your favorite color. You have to wear this kind of dress only for this party. So when we are very over controlling or over abusive parents, this kind of trait forms into us as an adult also. So the positive trait of this fear can be seen with determination. So for example, the same fear, okay, I'm scared to change, so I have to stay in this job, then I will make something very determined to stay in this job instead of changing. So you see, right, friends, it has so much difference. So yeah, now you can probably see if really fear is good or not good. So this is what I wanted to share with respect to fear. When I with my experience, when I recently came to US, so my surroundings, my neighbors, my friends were instilling fear into me, saying like, you're a vegetarian, it's very difficult in US, you cannot survive. Or okay, Atlanta, I still don't have a vehicle to commute. So my friends would tell, don't walk alone, it's not safe, it's dangerous. You walk only till this place, don't walk too far. So all, but I have to use everything by walking itself. I had to commute only by walking for some things. So luckily, I could immediately identify that, okay, this is not my fear, it is coming from the outside. I don't have to take it consciously with awareness. I could when we identify this emotion, right, friends, that is where half of your job is done. It's a very simple bubble technique. Important thing is to diagnose that we have this kind of emotion. We have to accept that yes, we have it, and then uh, it's gone. That's all. It's just gone. It pops up like a bubble. It's gone. So you have to take time each day to filter your emotions and mm, uh, filter your emotions. So that's how even meditation helps. So I also want to touch on sadness. So coming to sadness, women are emotionally centered, right? So we have emotions very quickly. It's very wrong to judge women that saying you're very emotional, you're too sensitive, you're an emotional fool. We hear all this kind. How did you believe him so quickly? All these kinds, right? But men are intellectually centered. So even though they have a bit of emotion, it gets crushed during their childhood when we tell to the male kid, why are you crying like a girl? I have heard this million times during my childhood to a boy. Why are you crying like a girl? Don't cry. Don't show your emotion like a girl. We compare that, right? And don't get hit by a girl in the school. It makes no sense actually. So men lose their emotional connection with this kind of words from the parents and surroundings. So uh, we have to try to balance this emotion and intellectual aspects of ourselves. With this, I want to share a story. I hope I have time. Yeah, I want to share a story. So there is a small family, father, mother, and a child. So what happens? They are very well lived, but one day the father's job gets changed. They have to move to a poor country and a small house. So the child also has to move along with them. She's a teenager. She doesn't like to move because she had a very luxurious life, and she has to make new friends. Soccer is her favorite game, and she doesn't have a team now because she's moving to a new place. So, in her mind, she's always striving to keep herself happy, joyful, and she's not allowing other emotions to come and take the pedal. So what happens? At whatever the case is, I have to be happy. That's what she thinks. So what she does, she waits, she's angry, she shouts, she tells her parents, they don't listen, she can't understand. So what she does, overnight she buys a ticket, she gets into the bus, she wants to go back to the old thing. She doesn't think anything else, but she wants to leave the place. That's all. She gets into the bus is about to start, then suddenly her memories get triggered. She remembers the time she spent with her parents, and even without even her control, sadness enters. She feels sad that she's going to be separated from her family, and immediately she realizes something is not correct. She gets off the bus. She goes to her home. Her parents are worried, and when they see her, they forget entire situation. They hug. She cries, and the situation is solved. So, more even sadness is so important. It's not that always you have to ignore it as a negative emotion. Sadness or any emotion, friends, when you are deeply connect any emotion, when you are fully connected, every when you feel the emotion, you start healing. Feeling is healing. So when you connect deeply with emotion, with whatever emotion, finally the outcome will is only left with joy. The final outcome will be joy. It happens naturally. So emotion will be there. You have to allow it to process. Instead of directly coming to acceptance, you have to feel it. You'll get angry, you'll be sad, you'll feel the denial, everything. But final stage has to be acceptance. Only then it is completely processed. Otherwise, each time these emotions keep tapping at your door saying, hey, I'm here, you're not processed me. So the situations also will start coming because you're not process that emotion. It's a teacher, it's a master. For example, if sadness is coming, you have not given enough attention to it. Like a child who cries all the time because its only language is to cry, it can't speak. Every emotion comes to your door to give, asking for attention like a baby. So we have to pay attention and process it. That's all for today, friends. Thank you.
Wow, Divya. Really, really, very nicely put together, like accepting and embracing the pain, right? Unless until like you completely acknowledge, hey, I saw you, I felt you. Otherwise, it keep coming back and beautifully put together, the absorbing other people energies, like in terms of fear also. It's fear induced. Fear is like, all coming from outside. You can't do this, you can't do that, you are not good enough, you can't do this. Especially coming from the childhood. Wonderful, Divya. Thank you so much. Such a great wisdom you shared with us. Thank you so much. Friends, thank you. I think next we have is Karuna. Karuna Master, are you there? I don't see Karuna.
It's her roll number 974.
Okay. Karuna, you wanna come in front of camera? Thank you so much, Karuna, for taking time in such a, hectic schedule. Karuna is ready to share with us a little bit about Karuna Master. Yes, Karuna, I know Karuna from past 5 years, who is been transformed herself so beautifully with the meditation, and she always embraces like whatever tiny things from surroundings, and she's also a very active volunteer, collaborator, and then who has been volunteering for so many Atlanta based events in many forms. She has been kids meditation, and she has also been 24 hours meditation master, and 11 master, uh, hosting meditations, teaching meditations. Thank you, Karna. Thank you for being here. Stage is all yours. Let's take us with your topic today. You're on mute, Karna. I can't hear you.
Here. I'll not take your time much. It's just like we have been hearing about the core principles of our PSSM, that is non-judgment, non-interference, and non-complaining. So I want to talk about non-judgment today. So it's again one of the characteristics that we have developed over our lifetime. Since it's actually since from the childhood, that's how we have been conditioned. Whenever we see someone, whenever we talk to someone, we see a new thing, or old person, or any situation, any circumstance, we tend to judge quickly. We tend to draw conclusions quickly. We tend to release those signatures into the universe. So what happens is, next time you meet that person, the first thing that comes to your mind is that the judgment you passed earlier, and that remains, that becomes as an impression in your mind. Even though that person has changed, that person is not behaving the same, not talking the same, but your judgment will come into the fore, and it will impact your relationship and communication with that person over the time. So whenever, because everyone is in their own evolution of spiritual, in their own evolution of lifetime, right? So we don't know what situations, what circumstances they are in. So that's why Patri sir always mentioned no judgment. But even if you see someone, even if you see something that is not right as per your perception, just observe it, and get over that observation. And as you practice it more and more, it becomes part of your psyche, and it also becomes part of your soul's characteristic. So judgment towards others, if you stop doing that consciously, it actually cultivates compassion and harmonious environment for you and the people around you. And judgment towards others is also not good, and judgment towards your own self harsh criticism, self criticism is also hinders your own improvement. So judgment in any aspect, masters, we have to be aware of, we have to be consciously aware of these these judgmental attitude that we develop over our lifetime. So be it work or in personal relationships, because after some time, if you realize, I mean, at least I had felt that I shouldn't have judged that person at that point of time in my life. It's not the same. It doesn't hold true anymore. But at that point of time, we didn't realize, there was nobody to tell us. So when we associate ourselves with people, with groups like this, like-minded people, with these who believe in these principles, who propagate these things, right? It will reinforce our belief that we are doing something wrong, that we are judging someone unnecessarily, that we are casting some expression to that person or situation unnecessarily. And we are also releasing that signature into the universe. You know how it works, the electromagnetic force. Even though that is not right, because you're releasing that signature into the universe, the same thing gets manifested about that person, about that situation. We are unnecessarily releasing that thought. So everything has a consequence. So that's why, even if you that's why it's important to consciously aware of these things and get over those observations. Just observe it as an observer and give it some time. That when you slip, when you actually come out of that bubble point that just Divya mentioned, when it comes to the surface, that's when keep calm, internally stay calm, balanced. Everything gets into the order. That's about it. Self towards your judgment towards others, judgments towards your own self is not going to is not doesn't serve any purpose. Even though if you might not realize it in the moment, but but you might realize it after some time. That's all. Thank you, masters.
Thank you so much, Karna. It beautifully put together how to be in a present moment, because the person whom like you had some kind of impressions might have changed, but he's still, having the same thing. And yeah, no judgments, no complaints. That's a great, great thing that even I have learned from Patri sir all the time. Though it keep coming and creeping, and then it's kind of an awareness that helps us to be in like, okay, be in observer mode, observe it. Thank you, Karuna. Thank you for coming. Thank you, friends. Next, last but not least, uh, we have is Master Arun Alladurgam. A little bit brief intro about Arun. Arun is been into meditation more than 10 years, and he is like very, very, very active master in Atlanta and across the USA. So far, like whatever, like he's like wherever there is a problem, he just jump in and say, "Hey, I am there." Like if nobody is there, I will be there. So that kind of like what do you call the support or back he would give. And I don't have to give much intro about him. He's been in all of the events like Mega Meditation Summit, Music Meditation Summit, not only here in Atlanta, happening in adjacent states also. He would go there to give his services. Thank you, Arun, taking time on this special day of his child's second birthday. Happy birthday to Adrika and welcome to our session.
Yeah, thanks. Thought like I would have missed this session, but fortunately, yeah, nature helped me to get in here on time. Yeah, so yeah, thank you so much, Pushpa, for arranging this kind of session. Ugadi is always special. I had this thing like every time whenever I feel Ugadi is Yuga Adi, so it's a starting of Yuga. That's how I see. Yeah, every time when there is a yoga, right, we have different taste, a different experience every time. The same taste in a different form. That is how I see. My part is to explain sweet in the 6 days that we have. Yeah, sure. Let me check. Yeah, can you hear me now? Is that okay? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, sweet. I really love sweets. Of course, I love all the tastes, but sweet is definitely my favorite one. But for me, everything is sweet. Be it any sort of form it could be, but I really see it as a sweet. Yes, be it a sorrow situation, be it a hard situation, be it very difficult situations. I always feel it sweet because that is how we need to feel. That is how, if you think everything is sweet, then because of your ability to see the sweetness in everything, the thing will make itself as sweet. That is the thing I understand like over the years as I practice. Uh, so yeah, what should I say about sweetness? This is something you eat or you drink or you are with the people or you are with any sort of emotions. Even if you are in a situation which is not at all comfortable with the way you see, everything is sweet because everything you enjoy it. As you enjoy things, uh, the thing will become sweet. And do laughter, make fun of the situations, make joyful of difficult situations, as the difficult situation will become itself since you made joyful of out of it. So that is why I always say like, there are nothing like a joyful situation or sweet situation every time, but the way if you see it in the sweet situation, then the situation will become sweet. Um, just experience this thing. Try yourself for doing this thing whenever possible. So things will become sweet because of your presence. The situation will become sweet because of your view. The situation will become sweet because of um, the idea itself make things sweet. Yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Yeah, everything, even what you call the respectful situation, the disrespectful situation, agreement situations, disagreement situation, day, night, sleep, no sleep, everything is sweet. Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you, Arun. Thank you so much. You gave a different perspective of the sweet. We're thinking sweet is something only when you look at when you get something which makes you happy. But you said like you reminded me the Vemana Padyam. Tinaga tinaga Vemu Tiyagavanu. So as and when you are there completely in that situation, uh, enjoying the situation, because every situation is situation, every emotion is an emotion to come to process, and it's a sweet. Super, super, super. Very, very nicely put together. Thank you, friends. Such a beautiful, beautiful session. I'm really enjoyed, listening to each and every master, the way they gave a completely new perspective of an emotion and how do you master that emotion, right? If anybody have any questions, please go ahead and unmute. Um, any question is not a dumb question or a wrong question. Sorry, I was on mute. Like, if anybody have any questions, please come forward. Otherwise, I hope you have enjoyed this session and learned something new. And I would request Sheetal, if she has any thoughts to conclude or like anything to add, please come forward, Sheetal.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pushpa. From the beginning till now, I enjoyed thoroughly, actually. Most of the time we know all this knowledge, but when we listen from masters, every time it is going to add new flavor. And today, like, it was an amazing, this is the true Ugadi for me. I'm really blessed. I'm sitting here today and listening all the great masters and the great perspective and giving the new definition and meaning for the festival itself. So thanks to Praveen, Divya, Anjali, Arun, yourself, and Karuna, Lakshmi. Oh my God, every master delivered a master message. So I'm very happy and I'm very, very blessed to be part of this. And thank you so much. Really, really love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's such a beautiful frame to look at everybody with coming up with the different topics, flavors, essence. What can we say? Everything we got. Everything is sweet. Thank you, Lakshmi, for joining. we're about to end.
I just want to share one message, one experience. Since the message ended with happiness, like Arun's message, right? So every day, morning, like around 3:30, I get up and I sit and then I meditate and then either sleep. And in today's meditation, Patriji came. Okay, and he's so happy, so jovial, so much enjoying. Then I went and asked, like, I know he came from different dimensions. Went and asked, Sir, you're not getting angry these days? He said, No, madam, getting angry is not good. We have to be always in that Amitananda, Brahmananda state. As the Prabodh Master told, right? He was showing it to Prabodh Master as well. I saw two masters today. And then he's saying that, the final message is to be very happy all the time. And today's message ended by Arun is that. So it's truly amazing, truly amazing. The morning, 3 o'clock to now is like, complete package. Thank you so much, Arun. And thank you so much, Pushpa, for putting this together.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.